of filming my short film, Flowers, which we filmed actually maybe like 6 days ago. So I'm filming this on a Saturday in the morning. I usually film my videos at night, so this is a little different, but I just thought I'd, give you all the information before it seeps out of my brain, So we'll just get into it. So, and if you haven't seen day one, check out this video right here where I explained what we did on day one. But day two of filming for Flowers, which is my short film, we started at a elementary school. Actually, it was a middle school called Palms Middle School, and we started there. I'm looking over here, by the way, because I have our shot list, which I will go over another day, but it basically has the entire schedule, so in case I forget, that's why I'm looking over there. But on Sunday, last Sunday, on November 13th, we started at 1 p.m., and that was our call time for everyone to be on set at a middle school that was right maybe like 3 blocks away from me. It was nice because, like I said, this was another stolen location, which basically means that we didn't have a permit for it. So we were filming outside the school on the sidewalk, and it was actually really nice because there weren't a lot of people there. And basically the scene that we did there, if you check out the short film that I uploaded in another video, there's a scene of two main characters walking down out of school, and so we filmed that, and we filmed it on a Steadicam, which is basically like this. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's this big like vest that has like a camera on the side. It's basically a camera operator holds it, and they basically like pull it along, but it hangs off their body instead of like on the ground or anything. And so my DB was doing that, and so we started our day there. We filmed from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., which was pretty doable because it's only one scene, so 3 hours, to do one scene wasn't too bad. And it was actually really fun. We got everything we needed, and then we went to so that was in Palms, Los Angeles, and then we went to Glendale at 4 p.m. to start at 5 p.m. to do our party scene. So this was my second and last location that I actually purchased for the film. It was a suburban house in Glendale, and we basically got to shoot inside it. We had a like hallway scene, and it was supposed to be like a graduation party, so we basically littered it with red Solo cups, alcohol. We had like party like lights, like different colored lights, like kind of like what I've been using in the background, but it was like flashing. And I don't know if you've ever seen a party scene, but the way we film it is like we do lights and everything, and then we just film it like a normal scene. It's super quiet on set. We have dialogue, and then in post we add in the chit chat, the noises to make it feel like a party, the music. So although it's a party scene, we actually don't film it very differently than like for instance the outside scenes. What we do add, and what I added on this day, which was really nice, is I actually added background. So I brought in a couple of friends. I'll give them shout outs, Kylie and Olivia. They're two of my friends that I made in LA here, and they basically were walking around with backpacks on, and then at the party they had dresses on, and it's basically just to give the illusion that there are more people than there are. So you'll see a couple people in frame that will be walking past main character out of frame, and then you'll hear chit chat. So you basically, your brain will connect, oh, those people are with other people in different different rooms, and that's what we did. The tricky thing is when we're buying a location, for instance, like on Monday, which I'll talk about in day 3, we filmed at my apartment. There's no time restrictions, right? But like in my last day 1, we had that bedroom scene, and like this in the house, we have a time limit. We are basically paying by hour. It's been interesting because I think I said in the last video, but like the thing that always stopped me from doing short films was not knowing A, how set works, and B, not knowing like how to get locations, permitting, and all of that. So it always terrified me, so I never would, go forth and do it. And it's cool, basically that I got into the industry and then I became a location scout. And although there were a lot of days where I kind of question, is this for me? I could be doing a lot different, more. It's not glamorous. It's like, meh. There are, and I am very grateful because I know there are a lot of people that can't be in the industry, but this is a great example of why I did it, because although the locations used to scare me a lot, I wasn't scared at this place, and I actually negotiated with the owner. I learned that like in our normal like work environment when I'm scouting, that you can haggle. Like it's either they're gonna get money or they're not, right? Like they're not always these locations aren't always being filmed at, so it's kind of a question of like, would they rather have some money versus no money? And I basically talked to this guy, and he's the homeowner, and the film is a queer film, and I'm queer, and he's an older queer man, and I basically befriended him, and we got a really nice discount. We basically got like an hour. We had to pay an hour, and we basically were there for like 6 hours, which was insane. But to do that, you have to go through a lot of hoops, right? So you have to chat with him multiple times, befriend them. I sent them the scripts. I basically, made them feel welcome, and when we're on set, be really respectful of their property. You really gotta go through it. You can't just ask for a price and then, But we were there, and this is some difficulties. So on my set, we usually, like my set is like an indie set, so it's like everyone's doing multiple jobs. On a proper set, like a more high budget set, everyone only has one job to do basically. But my DP, Miles, he's in charge of shooting, right? Like the camera, making sure it looks good. In this project, he was also in charge of setting up lights, which is usually what a gaffer does. Usually a DP will talk to the gaffing team and electrics and stuff and talk about, okay, this is the shot, let's talk about lighting it, and they'll light it and they'll talk together. But Miles, my DP, was the only one on set lighting. And my producer and I actually had a talk back like a couple days ago, talking about like what could be better. It was actually yesterday, about what could be better. And I think if he communicated with other people for setup, it could have been better. But basically, we had this whole house to set up, and it took, like, we were really tight on time. It took us 2 hours basically to set up lights, which was crazy. And yeah, so it was just crazy. It took 2 hours to set up lights, which meant left us like 2 hours to shoot like 2-3 scenes, and we did it, but it was a little chaotic. We had Caesar's Pizza when we were there. I was basically just running around, getting actors set, rehearsing their lines, and yeah, so we did it all in time, which was great. We got the interiors inside, and then we moved outside. We shot the outside of the house, which was good. The only thing is, it was freezing. It was really cold, and there's a scene in the film where one of the main characters gets dumped on with like beer, but water in this case gets dumped on their head. So, and this is a continuity thing. So like we had to figure out the shot in which he'd be dumped, on, because before he'd be dry and after he'd blow wet. But we did it. And then we did it kind of multiple times. It was freezing, so we always had I had my car on standby, like with like a heater on, and he'd always go in. We had towels on set. We also had, it turned out really well though. It was very cute. Like it was a very the climax scene, a very like lovey-dovey scene, which I love. And then it basically turns over to this villain basically ruining everything, which is Rob. And so after the dumping of water, which Rob dumps on the main character, it's supposed to also symbolize, in my film they're all basically flowers, supposed to symbolize, how you need sunlight and water and dirt to grow, but if you're overwatered, you die. Something like that, right? So I love this symbol of basically water just drenching him, and he begins to welt. He's welting, and that's basically that. But there's this other scene with Rob, so it's right after, where he gets hit in the face with peanut butter, and man, so we got a little bit of issues because my production designer, he's actually allergic to peanut butter, so we couldn't like prep anything. So on the day I was like, and also it's just so short on time. Like, like you saw my other videos, like we were like really prepping, and there's only so much you can do once you actually start shooting. You can't prep really much for the next days. But we had to throw peanut butter in, and I initially like grabbed my hand of peanut butter and I tried flicking it, and I kept missing him. I kept like getting his shirts and the ground. It was disgusting. And then my other lead actor took it, and he took a spatula, which is what like it's supposed to come from another character, and he started flicking it, and we got one take where we flung it at his cheek, and it was a huge cloud of peanut butter. It's the funniest thing. I can't wait to show you guys. We could see it, and then he just decides to go on, and he looks around, and it's so good. And in the film, he's allergic to peanut butter, and like it's supposed to be a little like surreal, not realistic, and absurd, and I think it definitely hits that. So it's supposed to be kind of funny. But we did that, and then yeah, we were doing well, but then something crazy happened. Are you ready? Guess about what the worst thing could happen in a film shoot. The cops came. So we were permitted, and in Glendale there's like for each area in the LA there's a time where you aren't allowed to be shooting. So we were in Glendale, it's 10 p.m. and that's just like the ordinance, and we were past 10 p.m. and we were basically continuing to shoot, and we were just like in our own heads, like really trying to go it, and then next thing I know, I turn around, I think I'm talking to someone, they go uh-oh, and I turn around, and there's 2 cop cars coming down one street, and there's 1 cop car coming the other street, and they basically like block us in. Okay, they block us in, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to pay a lot of money, like if you don't have a permit, this is awful. So I go up, and I immediately I go into like innocence mode, which is really pretty pathetic, but I was basically like, I'm so sorry, we didn't know, like we're a student film, which we aren't, and I do feel, I feel bad lying about that, because I really don't think like you should be lying, in life in general, but I guess in some sense we kind of were a student film because we were really low budget, and this is just a project. I'm not doing it for money or for anything, so I kind of put it in that umbrella. I don't know what you think. Do you think it's okay that I say that? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I basically go up, and the first thing he says to me, they all basically are out their car. The first thing he says to me, he goes, "How much longer do you have?" Which I immediately got a sigh of relief, because I was like, okay, they're on our side. And I basically was like, we only have 1 more scene. That was a lie. We basically had 3 more scenes, but I was like, we only have 1 more scene. Just 1 more shot. And he's like, okay, if I give you 15 minutes, will that be enough? And I go, yes. And he's like, okay, we're gonna leave, and if you're not done in 15 minutes, we'll have to write you up. Which is crazy. I mean, it's wild. But they left us, and we just basically wrapped out the night. We finished the last scene, and then we left, which honestly, and we missed some stuff, which I'll talk about later, but we had to grab on Tuesday, which is why we had a 4th day, and that's because we got shut down. So that's what that's called, being shut down. We basically got shut down by the police, but we didn't have to pay anything, which is a really good thing, and they were all really nice. But yeah, so it was hard because, yeah, we didn't finish some things, but I only filmed like one more scene and then we left. But it was actually a good thing because our call time for the next day on Monday was 9 a.m., meaning that's when we're going to start, and it was already like 11 p.m. And there's this thing in entertainment called a turnaround, which is giving enough time for people when they leave set to sleep and to recoup before they come back to set, and we were really infringing on it. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise because the scenes that we didn't end up shooting, it actually was only between the two main characters. The rest of the party before that was like all 5 characters, and so we had just finished the last scene with all 5 characters. So it was really nice that, that happened then. And then, yeah, so everyone left. Me, Miles, and Charlie, my producer, we basically all stayed. We like cleaned up. We transferred footage over to hard drives, and then we put all of our gear in our cars, and then Miles came and I went back to my house like at midnight, and we stayed up till 2, basically going over. Sorry, this has tape on it. I was trying to like put things on the wall, but we basically went over. I want to make sure you can see this. One sec. We basically went over this, which is basically a shot list for the next day. And something I learned with all of this is, so these are all the shots and the times that we were supposed to get there. But we didn't do this until the very last, like Tuesday, but I think you're supposed to usually like put some times on it so we could follow it. But yeah, so we went back home, we did that, and then we slept, and then we went into day 3 of filming, which was even wilder than this day, I can tell you. So yeah, so that's day 2. Everything went pretty well. There were some costume issues, and the fact that some characters were in costume they weren't supposed to be wearing. Madeline was wearing a jacket when she wasn't supposed to be wearing. Rob was wearing a jacket also. But overall, I think it turned out really well. I think it might be, we're gonna look at the footage, but Miles was doing Steadicam, right? And usually when you do Steadicam, you have someone assisting you to pull focused because he's basically doing movement and you want someone on the side just focusing on focus. But Miles was doing it all, so he's moving and focusing, and so I'm a little nervous to see if anything's out of focus. He doesn't think it is, but we'll find out once I go through the footage later the next couple of days. And yeah, so it was a crazy day, but it was also a really great day. I had, Kylie and Olivia hang out with me. Kylie's an AD, and our AD on set was kind of lacking, so a lot of my friends stepped in to help, which was really nice. So yeah, that's day 2. Let me know what you think. Like, do you think I handled the cops okay? Where I was kind of like, it was kind of pathetic, but I was just kind of like, we're a student film, all this stuff. I kind of lied a little bit. Or just tell me what you would have done in the comments. And yeah, I hope this made you relax a little bit, and I hope you enjoyed my ramble. And I'll see you at the next video for day number 3 of filming, which is crazier than us getting shut down, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope you have a great night, a great day, whenever you're seeing this, and thank you so much for being a part of my channel. Like, it brings me so much joy. So yeah, if you could just hit the subscribe button, it's in this little thumbnail down here as well that you could hit and subscribe, or put a like and a comment and just tell me, your thoughts about this day. I would love that. So yeah, with that, if no one's told you, you are so special.